Hey guys, in today's video we're checking out a brand new wireless system from Shure. This is the GLX-D Plus, and this model in particular is meant to be used with any musician who uses a pedal board. So guitar, bass, violin, whatever instrument you play, you put it as the first pedal in your pedal board, and it acts as one, the receiver for the wireless signal, and two, it also functions as a tuner pedal. So in this video I'm going to do a rundown on how this system works, so setup, specs, different options that you have, and basically just a complete overview on how to use this system. And also, I do have a friend who is currently using this system, this exact model. He's out on tour with ADELITAS Way right now, and we're going to check in with him to see how it's been holding up on the tour. So this video is specifically going to focus on the pedal board version of this model. The Shure GLX-D Plus also has a rack mount and tabletop version as well, and I have a separate video dedicated to a review on that specifically. So if that's what you're interested in, you can check out that video by clicking up above or down below in the description, and I'll also post it as the pinned comment down below. This video is going to concentrate on the pedal board version. I do want to say thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring this video and sending me this product to demo and review. All the opinions in this video are my own, and if you've seen my channel before, you know that I've been using Shure wireless products for years. They've been awesome. Spoiler alert, I love this system as well. It's a great system, and we're going to go over it to see if it's something that will work with your setup. And if you do decide to get this system, there will be purchase links to purchase it from Sweetwater down below in the description. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more music gear reviews and tutorials like this in the future, and let's get started. Okay, so on the pedal itself, plug in the power, and you can use the included power, or it does also accept 9-volt standard power for your pedal board. So if you have like a 9-volt power system for your pedal board, you can plug this into that. Do make sure you're just using the right type of power. It doesn't turn on until you plug something in to this left port right here. So you'd plug this cable into the next pedal that you want to run the signal into. So the receiver is set up. Now for the transmitter. So this is what clips onto your guitar, and the battery goes in here on the bottom. So you flip this little nub, and then it opens up and the battery comes out. Do notice that it does take a specific type of battery, so I do recommend buying a second one. It's only like $35, and that way you always have a spare. In order to charge it, it has a USB port right here on the side. So you leave the battery in, you never have to open it up, and you just plug in here, and it will charge the battery when you're done. But again, might be a good idea to have a second one just in case if you do forget to charge it for some reason. So here on the top, this is where you plug in the cable to plug into your guitar. And the one that is included is a straight cable. I will also link to a right angle one in case if you're interested. And it is really nice because it screws in, so it's definitely not going to come unplugged accidentally. Now the switch is up here on the top, kind of in a weird spot. That's actually a good thing because it'll pretty much never ever be bumped, which is awesome. And you can see when I turn it on, my pedal has realized, oh, I'm getting a signal now. And you can see this RF light has lit up, which means that they are successfully paired with each other. Something really cool about this is you can push this link button right here, and they'll both start flashing. And you can also tell, okay, the transmitter and the receiver are now linked to each other. And like I said, this system is amazing for scanning because of this ID link system. Here's how you scan and sync. You ready? Push this button. Push the channel button. It is now scanning. It has found group 1 channel 3, and it assigns it to the transmitter. I don't have to use any IR port. I don't have to push sync or something like that. It automatically does it because of this ID link. That is the easiest way to scan and sync I've ever seen. Push one button, it'll scan, and it'll automatically assign the transmitter and the receiver to the channel that it found. Doesn't get easier than that. So right now it's set to group 1. If you want to change the group, you would hold the group button and then push the group button to cycle through 1, 2, or 3. So I did reach out to Shure specifically to make sure that I got this information correct. And what they recommend is group 1 is best if you use 1 or 2 systems. Group 2 is best if you use 2 to 5 systems at once. And then group 3 is best if you're using the wireless in a space or an area that is entirely Wi-Fi free within a few hundred feet. So you should set your group properly and then do a scan. Set your group, push the channel button once, and it will scan for the best channel in that group. So you are able to adjust the gain, push the mode button, and then use the buttons to go up and down. It can go down to negative 20 decibels, and it can go all the way up to plus 40 decibels, which I can't see why you would ever need to go that high, but it gives you that option. So make sure you set your gain properly. And of course it has a tuner. You push the button once, you can see this mute light comes on, and then you start tuning your guitar. Pretty simple. There are some other settings, so you can set it from like needle to strobe, you can set it from sharp to flats and stuff like that, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. But this is such a smart design. Wireless receiver and tuner all in one. Pretty awesome. Okay, so some settings with the tuner. Push mode while you're in tuner mode. The first option it gives you is needle versus strobe. I know some people like strobe. I am 100% needle guy. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're team strobe or team needle, because I am team needle. So push mode button again, and now you get to mute mode. So when it's set to mute, that's the way I use it. When it displays the group and the channel, that's when the audio passes through. When it's in tuner mode, the audio will be muted and the audience doesn't hear it. If you set it to live mode, it doesn't matter if you see the group in the channel or the tuner, the audio will always pass through. And if you set it to both, it's actually reversed. Audio is muted on group and channel display, and the tuner is live when you see the tuner. I use mute mode. I think most of you will want mute mode. Push the mode button again, and you see this star with an A next to it. That stands for the brightness, so you can go 1, 2, or 3. Definitely helpful for seeing this out in the sun. That's an awesome setting. Next one, when you push mode, you see this flat 0. This one is bizarre. This is the detune feature. So if I push up, it will sharp everything by 1, and if I go down, it will flat everything by 1. You can go sharp by 5 half steps, and you can go flat by 6 half steps. I've never seen this with a tuner. If I'm playing in drop half step, I want to see that my guitar is in drop half step. So I want to see it display E flat. Leave a comment down below if you use this feature. I'm definitely curious on how you use that. But there will be a dot in the upper right corner to remind you that the pedal is in detuned mode. Push the mode button again, and you can set it to default to sharps, so it'll say G sharp, or you can set it to flat, so it'll say A flat, or it'll do a mixture of both. And then last but not least, you can set the reference pitch. So when it says 40, it's at A440, which is what most things are tuned to. If you do have to go down to, A432, you have that option, and it goes all the way up to A447. Most of the time, you want this set on A440. So that's what I'm leaving it at. And last but not least, you might be wondering what this port in on the right is. This is actually really smart because you can still use this as a wired tuner pedal. So it'll skip the wireless. You can plug in your guitar directly into here and it'll just act as a wired guitar tuner pedal. This is valuable for a couple of reasons. One, if your wireless dies, like you forgot to charge the batteries or something like that, you can switch to a cable very quickly. Or if you're in a super challenging RF environment, which can happen, and you can't really find a clear channel and you're just having issues and you just want to switch over to a cable. Or you could also plug in like a second instrument into it. So you'll be wireless for one guitar and then wired for another guitar. Really smart. They really thought of a lot of things with this system, and that's very, very cool. So as far as specs, the 3 most important ones, the range is up to 200 feet line of sight, the frequency response is 20 hertz up to 20 kilohertz, so the full frequency response, and the battery life is 12 hours. If there's anything else you're interested in, go ahead and pause the screen now. As far as price, it is listed at $500. And again, I will post links down below in the description on where you can purchase this from Sweetwater. And again, I will also post links down below to get that right angle cable if you are interested in using a right angle cable with this system, as well as where to purchase that extra battery, because it's only 35 bucks and I think it's definitely worth it to have a spare. All of that will be linked down below. So one of the biggest improvements of this model is that it operates in both 2.4 as well as 5.8 gigahertz. So it's a dual band frequency wireless system. The previous model only operated in 2.4 gigahertz. However, the thing is that over the years, a lot of wireless products have started using the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. Wi-Fi routers, Bluetooth, not just, wireless microphones and guitar systems. Because of that, it got pretty crowded, and there's a lot of people that use 2.4 gigahertz and are fighting for that frequency spectrum. Shure realized that this was a problem, and now with this new model, the Shure GLX-D Plus model, it operates in 2.4 as well as 5.8 gigahertz, which was really smart, and it has more than doubled the number of channels that you have in order to find a clear and reliable signal. FYI, you can turn off one of those frequencies if you want to only use 2.4 or only use 5.8. Pause the screen if you really want to find out how to do that. I don't personally recommend this, but that is an option, but most of you should just leave it as a dual band system. And that's the way that I've been using it. So yes, I have been using it at a couple of shows and it's worked awesome for me. Here's some footage of me playing it recently, and you can see the GLX-D Plus on the floor next to my HX Stomp. It worked flawlessly for me. One of the things that I wanted to do, so I am testing this for a YouTube tutorial and review, I wanted to push this thing towards its limit. So one of the things you really want to do if you're using anything on 2.4 or 5.8 gigahertz is you want to leave it away from Wi-Fi routers. Wi-Fi routers often operate in the same frequency range, so keeping it 6 to 10 feet away from Wi-Fi routers is best practice when using systems like this. And something you're supposed to do with any wireless system is you're supposed to have direct line of sight from the transmitter to the receiver. The more stuff that's in the way, the more likely it is that you're going to get dropouts. I am testing out my gear for a YouTube review. I wanted to push this thing to its limit just for one show. It was a smaller show that we did. I put it, one, right by our Wi-Fi router, which again, you're not supposed to do. And second, I put it where the transmitter to the receiver, our drummer, was in the way of it. So I did not have direct line of sight. Again, I want to be very clear. Don't do that. I'm pushing it to its limit for a review. You should not do that. However, it worked. That was the thing. So that's a pretty awesome sign of how reliable this system can be. I will say it one more time. Again, leave it away from Wi-Fi routers, and direct line of sight is always best. The thing that I wasn't worried about is that, again, it was for a smaller show, so if something was wrong, it would take 10 seconds to just move it away from the Wi-Fi router and get line of sight. However, the other thing was, if I did get interference, all I had to do was go over, push one button, push that channel button, and it would scan. It would set my transmitter and my receiver to that new channel, and I'd be up and ready to go again. That's such an amazing feature about this system, and in my opinion, out of all the wireless that I've used, this is the best scan and set it to the best channel because of that ID link. With other systems, it's not the end of the world. You have to scan, and then you have to bring it over and do an IR sync to set it to the new channel, or you have to go in and manually set it to the new channel. This one, you just push one button, and it syncs both of them up to the new channel. That's awesome. I absolutely love that about this system. And like I mentioned earlier, I had a friend ask me about upgrading his wireless system, and this was one of the systems that he was looking at. His name is GRAYSON ERHARD, phenomenal guitar player. This dude can play. Side note, if you saw, there was a viral video of at NAMM a few years back, Stevie Wonder came up on stage and played with a musician who was performing. That was actually him. But he's currently out on tour right now with ADELITAS Way, and he's using this exact system. The timing worked out perfectly where I was able to test this out at a couple of my shows, and then I was able to give it to him to borrow for this tour. So he's been using it on this tour, and I asked if he could just do a quick video to let you guys know how it's been working. So let's go ahead and check in with him.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm GRAYSON ERHARD. I'm about a week into the tour with ADELITAS Way, and I just want to share a little bit of my experience using the Shure GLX-D16 Plus. So far it's been pretty great. The nub antenna on this transmitter is, I love the way it looks, the way it feels on my hip. I don't like those long antennas that feel really brittle, could break at any second. So that's definitely a big improvement on that. Haven't had a cutout. We've been playing some pretty big cities like Chicago and have had no problems finding a channel to use. The battery life is really great, and I'm digging this USB-C port that it has. Also, a couple things that I would want to mention to you guys if you're going to get this product is get an extra one of these cables. So this connection is pretty specific, so if you're on tour and this breaks, you might be out of luck. Other than that, last night I had a weird tone situation going on, and I went back and I pressed the channel button on the receiver, found a new channel, and fixed the tone completely. That's the first time I've had that happen. Other than that, perfect tone. On top of that, I was about 50 feet from the stage by the sound booth, and I was getting about 500 milliseconds of latency, so unless you're playing with a catwalk, this thing will be fine. And then the clip, these things never want to stay on your guitar strap, so what I always do is I just put gaffer's tape around the strap and the unit to make sure it stays on. But other than that, man, it's been really good, and I want to just thank Scott again for letting me borrow this, and you guys take care.
So there you go, real world analysis of how this is working out on the road. Thank you again, Grayson, for doing that. I appreciate it. And I'll be sure to link to his music down below. Seriously, check him out. He's such a phenomenal musician. And if you saw ADELITAS Way on their current tour or any of their upcoming shows, I'll post them on the screen now. This is the system that he's using. So yeah, overall, this is a great system, very smart design, really well put together, and I'm going to continue using this system. Many thanks again to Sweetwater for sending me this product to check out and to review for the channel. And if you are interested in purchasing this system for yourself, there will be purchase links down below in the description to buy it from Sweetwater. So that's basically it. Again, don't forget to check out the rack mount tabletop version of this system if that's what you're interested in. I will make sure to post that on the end screen as well as a link down below. If you are interested in what is the next level up for wireless in the Shure ecosystem. That would be the SLXD, and I do have a dedicated video on that one as well. So you can check out both of those videos by clicking the links on your screen now. Be sure to check out my Shure wireless playlist as well, which will be linked down in the description. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ScottYoleMusic. Again, many thanks to Sweetwater. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.